My name is Jamie Stanika. I'm a K-5 physical education teacher at Clover Ridge Elementary, right here in Chaska, Minnesota. I want to take you through how I develop a culture using the school's PBIS, or Positive Behavior Intervention System. We use respectful, responsible, cooperative, and safe. That's what the school has adopted to promote that positive behavior. I just want to show how I take those words and adapt them specifically to my gym to develop that positive culture. All right, so this is the front of my gym, and we have what we call the Clover Ridge wall. And then I also have the posters of my PBIS, respectful, responsible, cooperative, safe. I also have the screen up there. I use a lot of visuals with a projector for learning targets and those sort of things. And this is the front of my gym because I do have the kids in squads. And just on a side note, one reason I really like using squads is that helps me learn names. As the kids are in their squads, I have it on my clipboard, just where the names of where they're sitting. So when they're sitting on the squads, I can be glancing at kids' faces and their names. It really helps me build those relationships by starting with their names. So let's take a look real quick at my posters. And these are developed collaboratively with the other specials teachers. Ultimately, they mean the same thing, but they do look a little bit different in each of our areas. You know, media, art, music, and Phi-Ed here. So to kind of show you what I would, as a kid would be sitting on their squads after the first couple of days, how we would review PBIS is to go through the posters. You're respectful, and I'll share these as well. But respectful, you know, it starts, we do pick up the kids at their classroom and drop them off. So we talk about being respectful in the hallway and what that looks like because there's other classes learning, okay? And then I have a picture of an ear there to be respectful listeners. And respectful listeners have their eyes on me with their body still. And we talk about why that's important, because sometimes when a student is not following directions, it's not their fault. It's because their neighbors might have been making a distraction and they didn't get an opportunity to hear the directions. So then when we started the activity, they weren't sure what they were doing. Responsible, right? Being responsible on my 3-2-1 freezes to stop, sit down, and hands off all the equipment. So we talk about being responsible during 3-2-1 freezes. The number one is being a first-time listener, or as we call it, following directions the first time. Following directions the first time. And why that's so important is just, if I have to repeat directions and stop the class and revisit rules or those sort of things, that the clock doesn't stop. That just takes up the time that we could be doing the fun activities. So if we're all following directions the first time, that gives us more of an opportunity to play. And then cooperate. Okay, cooperating, taking turns, sharing, encouraging each other, but cooperating, and the big one there is so that we can help each other meet our learning target. If our learning target for that day is, I can throw by stepping with my opposite foot. If you're spotting somebody that's not stepping with their opposite foot, and you go over there and help that student, you're an expert at cooperating. You're an expert at helping them meet their learning target. And I use that term expert a lot for kids that are meeting a standard. So kids are striving to be experts. Okay, if they need an additional challenge, you could something as simple as, you know, if you're an expert, now you have to try to be a ninja, or whatever term you create. But it gives those students something to strive for. So we're cooperating to help each other meet our learning targets. And our big focus this year is safe. And we tied social emotional learning with the safe part of our Clover, what we call Clover Pride, respectful, responsible, cooperative, and safe. And just with kids not having been in school for the better part of 6 months, and the COVID-19 outbreak and things that are going on, the social emotional burden that students are carrying on their shoulders, we just felt it's very important to focus on the safe part, especially that emotional. So we do have physically safe. And in the gym, in the art room, that might look like not running with scissors. Being safe in the music room is not running around the room so you don't step on the instruments. Well, in the gym, it looks like watching where you're going so you don't bump into your neighbor. Okay, not whipping the ball at your neighbor so that it doesn't hit them or hit somebody next to them, but being physically safe. And also being what we call emoji safe or emotional safe. And that's feelings. And the example I like to give for emoji safe is if a student shoots a basketball and they shoot an air ball and we all laugh at that student, we just created an environment where that student is now going to be afraid to make a mistake because they got laughed at. We just crushed their basketball experience. We didn't keep it emoji safe. And now they're not going to want to shoot again because they don't want to be laughed at. And I really don't blame them. So instead of laughing at a student that makes a mistake, Now we focus on helping that student and encouraging that student. Maybe we get a different ball. Maybe we lower the baskets down. We move them closer. But we do everything to try to help that student find success. And they might miss 500 shots in a row, but we keep encouraging. And when they finally make it, then we celebrate with them. And that's a difference in the environment we created. Rather than crushing the student's basketball experience, we were patient and allowed that student to persevere and then celebrated with them. And that's a pretty powerful moment. So, another example I give with SAFE is I always keep some Band-Aids in my pocket when I talk about this is if you scrape your knee, I've got some Band-Aids that we can see that you're hurt and we can fix that. We can send you down to the nurse if we need to, but we don't want you to get hurt, but we can pretty easily fix that if you scrape your knee or have a bloody nose or something like that. It's really hard to spot when somebody's feelings are hurt until it's too late. And when it's too late, it's really hard to fix that. We can't just put a Band-Aid on it. Okay, so that's what we call our Clover Pride, respectful, responsible, cooperative, safe. These are on my instructions. I have these posted up on my instructional area. I also have these posted in my take a break area. And that's an area I don't like to use, but I think it's important to have that area because there are going to be some behaviors that are going to need some redirection. And by sending them over to the take a break, rather than making it a punitive experience, a punishment, I can use it as a teaching opportunity to reinforce what that positive behavior would have looked like. Okay, so it becomes more of a teachable moment instead of a punitive moment. Right, so I hope this helps. This is just an example of one way I create a culture using a school-wide system that the students are familiar with.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.